Hi everybody, just figured I'd make a little video of some stretching routine that you can do after you do some moderate exercise just to kind of limber back up and everything. Got my purple drink here, so I'm ready to go, and welcome to Mi Casa. So this first one we're going to do is very simple. You just have your feet kind of shoulder width apart. Make sure you're not too wide. Shoulder width is actually not as wide as some of you might think that it is. So just nice and shoulder width, usually maybe 6 inches in between the feet. So all we're going to do is bend at the waist, and then just try to bend down. And if you can't touch your toes, that's totally fine. If you can, reach for the floor. And as you exhale, try to go a little bit lower. You're going to want to slightly bend your knees. You don't want to lock your legs straight. You just want a slight bend to the knee, but not so much that you're just kind of cheating the stretch. And just hang. If you're looking with your head in front of you, then what you're going to want to do is just relax your neck so that you're kind of looking behind you just a little bit. We're just going to want to do this for about a minute. If you feel like you might pass out, then you may either be locking your legs or you haven't waited long enough since you did your exercise, so your heart rate is still just going too fast. Or you might actually need to pick your head up a little bit just to get it above your heart. But as much as possible, relax your neck. If you feel like you need to pick your head up in order to, let the blood kind of go back out from your head, that's totally fine. Okay, so this next one, we're going to take the right hand and we're going to try to put our left foot in it. Okay, so you're reaching across your body behind your back, and it should just help you kind of be a little more stable, as opposed to usually when you hold the same leg, you have a lot more balance issues. So we're just reaching across the body. So if your left leg is in your right hand, I kind of grab it about the ankle. You want to pull your left shoulder back just a little bit to try to make your shoulders even across. It's good to do this in front of a mirror to see if your shoulders are kind of doing the same thing. And then just experiment with your distance between your knees. To get more of a stretch, I increase the distance from knee to knee, and you should kind of feel this, about here. So I am not using a mirror right now, so my shoulders might be doing some messed up things, but you want to have your shoulders be level with each other and the same front to back, if possible. Also want to make sure you're not thrusting your chin out when you do this stuff. Just a nice neutral position. And each of these stretches we want to hold for about a minute, to really maximize that stretch. If you do 30 seconds, that's fine. It's better than nothing. But a good minute is good. Okay. And I'm also not timing these either, so if I go over or under a little bit, don't sue me. Okay, so now we're going to do the same exact thing but on the opposite side, so your left hand with your right foot. Whoa! I broke my left ankle about 10 years ago. This is being recorded in 2019, by the way. I'm not sure how long we're going to use this video, but 2009 I broke my left ankle, so I've got a few more wobblies here on this side usually. I should have had some like light samba music or something playing in the background for you all, but and again, no chin thrusting, any of that. Increasing the distance between the knees to get a little more of a stretch, or just pull your foot closer to your butt. That might help. Clothes are ready to go in the dryer. Okay, again, we're not timing these, I'm kind of just winging it. Okay, now what we're gonna do is plant your left foot, swing your right foot in front, and then try to bring it back to where both feet are parallel with each other. I'll rotate a little more so I'm faced here. Both feet are parallel with each other and about your toes are even. On this one, when you go down very slowly, especially the first time you do it. You know, you'll easily mess your knee up if you go down too quickly. This is Junior, my kitty. He's a Russian blue. And he is a hypoallergenic breed. I'm actually allergic to cats. But he's my little buddy. Aren't you? He might be making some appearances in and out of here as we do this. So yeah, I mean, you're just kind of the same deal as the first stretch we did. You've just got your feet crossed, and you should kind of feel this on the back side of your knee. And again, when possible, try to just relax your head and your neck. But if you feel like, you know, you've got blood rushing to your head or you're going to pass out or something like that, don't be afraid to break the stretch and come back after a little break. Or just, you know, raise your head a little bit to get that blood back out of there. But the overall point, you know, is that you should be as loose as possible up in your shoulder, neck, head region. I like to cross my hands in front of each other like this, middle fingers aligned when I do this one when the cat's not here. Just one of those OCD things that I do. Okay, so now we're just gonna come up. We're gonna switch feet. Go, kitty. And again, just trying to feel the stretch in the back part of the knee. If you're gonna fall, I would fall back. And, well, not into the fire, of course, hopefully. This is not a safety video. But, you know, if you fall back, you just got to swing that foot back very quickly to catch yourself. But I would not fall forward because this leg is straight back here, and you might hurt yourself. You're not really able to bend it because of that leg that's in front of it. So. Okay, so while we're up here, this isn't something that I usually do, but we can go ahead and just reach for the stars. And again, when I do this one, I'm not really looking up, Just looking straight forward. Sometimes this muscle comes up and kind of chokes off my carotid artery though, so you know, I might look up just a little bit. Just trying to elongate the spine. Just think about someone pulling a string. If there were a string that ran from, you know, your head to your feet, just pulling that string and trying to elongate the spine especially. Look at where you're rotating, maybe what's called your pelvic bowl. You know, are you kind of thrust forward, or are you like really trying to pull your butt up into the air back there? And just look for a neutral position. Make sure to breathe while you're doing all this stuff. Some positions will be easier than others. And when you breathe in, wherever you're feeling the stretch, just try to send the air, send the energy to that level, that place in the body. If you're not of the mind that believes in that kind of thing, that's cool. I don't really know if I do either, but you know, I've heard that it helps some people. So if that helps you, then think about sending some energy to those parts of your body. Okay. Whew. All right. So some of this is a little bit of a workout as well. Okay, now we're going to cross the right hand in front of the body across the chest. I kind of get a little momentum going with it and try to hold it there. I'm just relaxing my hand to the side. Again, if you do this with mirrors, you'll want to try to see if, you know, a shoulder is up or down. This one, I try to keep my shoulders down. If I'm thinking about anything, I feel like people, when they do this stretch, have a tendency to kind of shrug up usually. So just try to relax and keep my shoulders down. I'm not trying to torque anything like super stressful. I don't want to use too much of my muscle on my left arm to, like, you know, bicep this thing back. Just, you know, getting a nice little stretch. I'll kind of play with my shoulders a little bit. Just because I have a lot of shoulder and back damage from wearing a rope drum. Again, breathing, that'll be easier for some of you than others, just due to where this is on your body. You know, females, I'm not sure if this one gives you much of an issue in terms of how much room you're dealing with there, what's going on, but just do your best. All right, just gonna relax that for a second. Shake it out and switch arms. Left arm in front, little inertia, and then just hold it where it is basically comfortable. This stretch, for me, more than anything, stretches out kind of my back in between my shoulder blades. I'm not sure if that's really what it does for everyone else. You might feel it in your shoulder a little more, but just because of my flexibility issues and, you know, pre-existing damage and stuff, I feel it more opening up my shoulder blades in the back. So this one always feels really nice. And trying to keep the shoulders down, you know, not like incredibly, don't strain to just really get it down there, but just relax them down. Make sure you're not shrugging up and getting tight. And just relax this hand. Trying to make sure one shoulder isn't super higher than the other. I wish I had mirrors that I was looking in so that I don't look like an idiot doing this for you guys. And you're like, he keeps saying to keep the shoulders level, but his shoulders are whack. Again, I'm not timing this, so I'm just trying to kind of wing it. I do have a clock going on in the background. I don't know if it's picking it up or you got speakers loud enough, but it's, but I'm not counting them, so. Okay, well, let's just relax that for a minute. Shake it out. My chest is real tight today. Okay, so for this next one, you really want to make sure that you're not pulling your head forward on this one. I think like 100% of the people that I see doing this one, especially until I'm able to tell them not to do that, just we instinctively pull our heads forward on this next one. So if you find yourself doing that, just break the stretch and start over. But you want to lift your right hand is going to go back like this, kind of touching about the middle of your back or that spot between your shoulder blade and your spine. I'm kind of centered on my spine, so let's go with that. And this one, you're going to reach over your head, grab your elbow, and just kind of gently push that arm back. And you should feel this one in your tricep. So you might have to bend your head forward just a little bit, just in regards to where this forearm is. But if at all possible, just make sure you're not reaching behind your head to try to do this one, that you're reaching over your head. Making sure we're still breathing. Otherwise, that'd be pretty bad if we weren't breathing. It's not a good day. Mm-hmm. My goodness. Okay, we're just going to relax that one out. I'm just going to check the device here and make sure we're still rolling. I updated it earlier, so. Okay, good. We're still going. You liking that fire, Kitty? He's like, you're in my spot. Alright, so now we're going to do the other arm. So taking the left arm, pulling it back, and reaching over the head with the right hand onto the elbow, and just gently nudging that arm back while not pulling our head forward. So again, just depending on how your flexibility is, you might be in front of your face or in front of your head, your forehead or something like that. Some of you might be like centered all the way over your head. It's just wherever you need to be for your body. Hey, no. That's right. Mm-hmm. I don't get as much out of this stretch generally, unless I've really been just killing the tricep. So we might not hold this one as long as some of the other ones. It's not as applicable to what we do here for the percussion stuff. All right. So while we're on the arms, I might include these stretches in another video that I'll probably call something like the shakeout stretches and all that kind of stuff for playing. But since we're on the arms now, we can go ahead and do them while we're doing this general body stretch as well. Can't hurt. So just, put your hands together. On this one, the tendency is to pull the hand forward, kind of like this, the fingers forward. So you want to like kick your wrist out, rotate your forearm so that the wrist kind of comes out a little and your fingers come in so that they're just pointed straight up. And some of you might be super flexible, so I don't have much guidance for you here if you're not feeling anything. I try to keep this at a 90-degree angle. No, I don't really want to torque it any more than that. But I think that's for just kind of us normal-ish people. And again, I'm not looking at a mirror, so I might be overdoing it right now. If I am, I apologize. And let's try to make sure our shoulders aren't shrugging forward in like bad posture. Just think about having good posture while you're doing this. The more that you think about the shoulders going back, odds are your fingers are going to creep forward more. So really try to pull those fingers in so they're pointed straight up. And don't do any funky things with your chin either. Okay. And something that I notice when I'm doing this is sometimes the middle of my fingers will kind of pull away. So I'm just touching at the tips. So you might want to make sure that the middle of your fingers, like all of your fingers, your finger is making contact with the opposite finger. If you want, you can let out a Om, Om, as you do this. I wish I could do that legit, like doing the harmonics, some of the monks do, where they're actually singing more than one note at a time. It's pretty cool. If you get a chance, look up Bobby McFerrin. He has some videos where he actually sings 3 notes at the same time. He'll sing tonic, and then an octave above that, and then a third above that. So he harmonizes with himself. It's pretty neat. All right, so we just did this one. Kind of, just do this for a split second. Just shake it out. Okay, so here are some shakes that I do. Before we do the shakes, just make sure that you're not overdoing the shakes. That can actually cause damage. I need to put some logs on the fire. Don't want our trusty fires to die, do we? Alright. Okay. Smother it just enough. It's getting a little toasty in here anyway. So you don't want to overdo any of the shakes that we do. Just like you don't want to overdo the molar motion thing, you don't want to overdo these shakes. It'll cause damage. So this is just the shaking off water shake. Don't just shake down, but you should also kind of shake up. So this one's more for down for the right hand and up for the left hand if you're a traditional player. But, just do an equal amount on both hands, can't hurt. You can do them together. So I'm just pulling up and then kind of letting it rebound off the back there and then down together. You can do that. Just make sure you're not really doing it too hard. Can't say that enough. Okay. And then alternating. Do it slower or faster or whatever. Okay, I'm just trying to relax my fingers. I'm not trying to leave them splayed out or anything. Just relax. Okay, and this is the dog paddle, I guess we could call it, or the Frankenstein, the zombie. The dog paddle, and this one you really don't want to overdo. And just make sure you're doing it back as well. Too hard. With the back ones like that and this, I find it's easier to do them both at the same time. Just to make sure I'm putting equal amount of energy between the right and the left hand. Okay. So we did that, we did this. Okay, now we got the hi mom, or dad, or grandpa, or aunt, or whatever. Don't want to, discriminate based off of who has who in their life. Some people don't have a mom in their life. Some people don't have a dad in their life, or grandparents, or aunts, or cousins, or anything. So I had a hard time pulling them in. So this one I mainly focus on out. Okay. So just go back through them all. Okay, so the last hand stretch we'll do is the same as this, but we're going to come from the underside. And again, this doesn't need to be less than a 90-degree angle, so don't really torque it up or anything. And just as earlier, we're trying to get the fingers in toward our body so that they're straight up and down. And relaxing the shoulders, which is going to force the fingers out potentially, so just try and rotate those in. Depending on how much you got around here, you might not be able to get them all the way, but just do your best. Again, sorry if I'm overdoing the stretch. I'm not using a mirror right now. Making sure to breathe. Don't stop breathing. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and stop this video just so we can split it up a little bit. So this one will be, the standing video, and the next stretch video will be based around the things that we do in the seated position. So I hope that you got something out of this. If you did, don't forget about it. This is not just a one-time thing. Doing this every day or every other day or every 3 days, some type of consistency, you will see more flexibility in all these areas. I don't stretch enough, so right now I'm not very flexible, but when I am good about it and I'm doing a good job, I definitely notice improvement. So I hope that you all see that. Have a good